I have to let you all know I have been very ill, but I'm going to do my best. Every eye closed, everyone join hands together so we can become one. All right? Dear Lord in Heavenly Father, we please be here. We know that you hear all of our supplications and while we are here today. Lord, everything is everything the way that you want it to be, not what we want. We're gonna always stay together and be together. Any one of us needs sickness to help a person come out of that sickness, like someone helped me, and I'm here tonight. I want all of us to know that we're all one, all right? All one time. We say, God is good. God is good. The everlasting power of God. Follow him to the end. Amen.
Last week, our longtime treasurer, William Britt, of Bronx County Conservative Party, passed away. Thank you very much. Okay, so first off, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Appreciate it. My name, most of you know, I know most of you. My name is Patrick McManus. I am the chairman of the Bronx County Conservative Party. I took over in 2020 after the passing of Bill Newmark. I finished out his term. I am subsequently serving my second elected term as chairman of the Bronx County Conservative Party. We have these papers up here. It gives a brief description of how the Conservative Party and why the Conservative Party was founded. The Conservative Party exists only here in New York State as a recognized political party. We have ballot access. We're one of the 4 political parties recognized by New York State government. The party was founded in 1962, originating here in the Bronx. It was a group of people that felt that the government, both parties had kind of become homogenous, and they were both leaning towards liberalism and socialism, basically. And it was formed to give the people of New York an alternative to what the Republican and Democratic parties were doing at the time. So that covers why the Conservative Party was founded. And I like to look at us as an alternative, a common sense alternative to both of the large political parties. That being said, since 2020, or more accurately, since 2022, we've been working very diligently to grow the party. Our numbers in just the past year, we registered 333 new conservatives here in the Bronx. You can clap for that. And statewide, the Conservative Party is also almost at its record enrollment at this time. After this last presidential debacle of an election that, thank God, worked out. It seems a lot of people are waking up to the fact that the Democrats no longer work for the people. So to recap the 2024 elections, whereas we had a tremendous victory on the national level, here in New York State and even locally, we were a little disappointed. With the passing of Proposition 1, I really, you saw my postings on Facebook. I woke up ashamed to call myself a but I like to believe a lot of that was voter ignorance, and this is a big part of what we're trying to do here with the Conservative Party. It's just educate people. So you know, you got to be more conscious of what's going on. We need to stop with the identity politics. And we need to start looking at people, policy-wise, not party. That being said, we had several candidates that did amazing showings. Here in the Bronx, I'm sure you heard that Donald Trump got his highest percentage, got the highest percentage of Republican in more than 2 decades. Well, not only did Donald Trump do that, some of our candidates down here in the Bronx got record numbers. Tina Forte, unfortunately, couldn't be here tonight. She doubled the number of votes over her last election. Edwina Herrera, who is here, she received over 30% of the vote against Paul Hastings. Was running against Paul Hastings. Stand up, stand up. He's out there. The Democratic machine is powerful. It's going to take us a while to beat them, but just know that these candidates have pushed us in the right direction.
This is how we do.
Yes. We have voter registration cards here. Anybody who's registered as Democrat, I beseech you, please, tonight, register as a conservative, my preference, or if not, a Republican. We need the numbers, okay? Over the past year, the Conservative Party has hosted many events. Last Christmas, we did a toy giveaway and a Santa in the Bronx houses. It was extremely successful. We're looking to build on that this year. We've been sponsoring awards nights around the Bronx, recognizing civic-minded individuals, and that's what it's all about. Is community. We need to stand up and take our community back, because over the years we've given our communities to the politicians, and we've become very inactive, and we need to remind them that they work for us. We don't work for them. Amen. This is what we've fallen into these days, and we need to break that. Now, during this election season, Tina Forte again was gracious enough to allow the Conservative and Republican parties to use her office on Morris Park Avenue, and to that end, some of our people, Gonzalo manned the office quite a bit, Dion was there, but Jimmy was there almost 7 days a week through October into November, maybe even late September. So we do want to recognize that. Now, looking forward to the 2025 elections, to me, they're way more important than who the president is. Way more. And that's another thing people don't understand. You see these tremendous numbers come out and vote for president. Nobody comes out and votes for their city council. Okay, and we need to break that mold. So in 2025, Kristy Marmorato, I'm sorry, I should have introduced you earlier. Kristy Marmorato is a local councilwoman here, covers Bronx, Palm Bay, Morris Park, parts of Allerton. She graciously accepted our invitation to speak here tonight. Kristy is the first. Kristy was the first Republican elected here in the Bronx in over 20 years. She was elected on the conservative line. The margin of victory was the conservative line. Thank you. And she is, I believe, the first Republican city councilwoman from the Bronx in history.
No. All right. Not in history. No.
Oh, Peter.
First female.
Yeah, that's
I'm not. I apologize. To that end, I want to talk a little bit about some things that have been going on. And I spoke with Queens about this last month. It seems when a Republican wins a seat in New York City, it's a short-lived victory. Because within a short span of time, all the other Republicans realized, well, that spot is winnable. I want to go over there and run. And this is why we are not successful. The conservative Republican movement does not get any progress because we have too much infighting. Okay.
Yep.
That's right.
And you see out in Queens, Vicky Palladino is being challenged, Joanne Ariola is being challenged, all because people around see this. And we need to stop that. If you really want to change things, Kristy's in office here in the Bronx. We need to do everything we can
That's right.
to keep Kristy
That's right.
here. If you want to run in the district next door. Let's expand our territory, not
Yes,
fight
yes.
over the small piece of the
Right.
territory that we have.
Right.
You know, it baffles my mind, and I just hope we can break that cycle as well.
Yeah.
Now, again, touching on the 2025 election cycle, Kristy will be running. And Kristy is going to need all of us. Okay? Please keep that in mind. Also, we are having trouble finding candidates for any office. I don't understand. Every city office is up. Bronx County District Attorney, all of the city council, and this time the city council being restructured. We're looking at 4-year terms now for the city council.
Wow.
So this is our last opportunity to make a change for the next 4 years. It's that important that we need to get quality candidates that share our ideals. We need to find these people, get them on the ballot, and we need to work together. The Republican Party and Conservative Party are mutually dependent on one another for success. So one cannot survive without the other. And we need to work together, the Conservative Party and the Republican Party, to maintain our seats and to expand our number of seats. So we don't even have a great mayoral campaign.
You have a mayoral candidate at all?
Mark, tell me who's the candidate.
Curtis Lewa.
Curtis Lewa, it's questionable. Curtis,
No, he's gonna run. He's there.
okay, I get, last cycle, we got beat up a little for not endorsing Curtis. Curtis didn't want the Conservative Party endorsement. What can we do? What can we do? Again, he didn't want to work with us. It's not that we didn't want to work with him. So, I don't know if he's gonna come to us for an endorsement this time. I honestly don't know. We'll get there. We'll get there. That's Joe, Allerton. Ali. Okay. I'm sorry, I did neglect. Joe is running for mayor. Okay, so with that being said, I think, oh, no, I do have this. Yeah. We're gonna see. The time is getting short for the 2025 election season. Petitioning is going to start in late February, early March. We don't have the calendar yet. So we need candidates by late February. So we're going to be looking to interview candidates, and hold on one second, Mark. Sometime in January, we're going to have to start interviewing candidates. But in order to interview candidates, we need them. We'll talk, and just to let everybody know, that is the timeline, and I think that's all I have to say at the moment. At this point, I'd like to turn the floor over to Kristy.
All right.
Everybody for being out today. Excuse me for you guys for probably the next hour or so. So I spoke with Pat, and I'm going to touch on a couple of hot take items happening down in the city council. like he said, it's very important. If you have the passion to run, and I will tell you, I got both my primaries and general election, and it is hard to put yourself out there, to put your family out there, and to give your time and energy towards something that is not guaranteed in the end. I still recommend you try it. I mean, we won, and it was one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done in my life, because I really put everything that I had inside of myself towards this goal. So if you ever want to speak about it, have any questions, want to break, just have like an honest conversation about putting yourself out as a candidate, I'd be more than happy to do that. Because when I ran, that's exactly what I did. I picked up the phone and I called John Hunt. I called Tina Forty. I called John Serene, people who ran for this in the position that I was going for, and I asked, what was the toll like on your family? How did it, happen? How did it affect your business? How did you do it? What did you feel at the end? And if you ever want to have a conversation, I'd be more than happy to have that conversation. So, being the only Republican from the Bronx, I'm basically in an island myself, and we do need more Republican conservative candidates here in the Bronx, and it's very lonely. We have 5 other Republicans, and I think it's 9 in total for the Common Sense Caucus, because we have 3 other Democrats. And we all kind of vote along the same lines, and we have the same values. And, it's important to get people to build that up if we can possibly do that. And because I am a Republican, I don't get to push a lot of legislation through in city council. And that was never my intention for my first year. My first year was bringing city services back to our community, being the liaison between agencies and our district, and really getting things back to where they need. My biggest compliment was 4 city agencies said we have not had this much traffic from your district in years. And that just says a lot. So that was an honor. But my main goal is public safety, supporting our police, trying to get as much funding towards the NYPD and resources to them, and make our community a lot more safer and clean. I am very tough on having a district, because if it's not clean, people are going to come in and disrespect the neighborhood, and I don't want it. So that was our main goal, and I feel like we pretty much got there, and now we're kind of trying to finish our legislation. Hot ticket item, City of Yes. How you guys all feel about that?
Oh, no.
So was a majority of the city. A majority of our community boards voted against it. Unfortunately, not everybody's listening to the community. I am a no. They had put forth some modifications, and there's some charming modifications that they put forth. But they're selling their soul for $5 billion. And to me, you can't put a number on changing the entire city altogether. And that $5 billion is nothing that we're going to see. And it's interesting because when Dan Veronic, chair of city planning, stood up there to testify, and the little packet they give you in the testimony said, we're going to come up with $20 billion for infrastructure. And I said, well, over the next few years, I said, well, where's that money? Is it a federal grant? Is it a state grant? No. Okay. Where's the money? You're the taxpayers. That's where the money's coming from. If your water bill's low now, or high now, it's going to go up. They're going to tax you like crazy just to come up with that number to secure the infrastructure for the building that's going to go up. And we're already drowning here in most part of our district. But it's really interesting. So now that the city planning has accepted the modifications, we're voting on the modifications now on Thursday. And if there is a no vote on the modifications, then it reverts back to the original form. So we got some pretty good stuff. It's still not where I would like it to be. Coastal and inland flooding, there will be no basement ADUs. And if you're going to have an ADU, you have to live in the property and it has to be your primary residence in order for you to build. Because I know there was some concerns about people just coming in and creating like the backyard of the garage apartments or the attic apartments. You have to be living on the top of the building. Parking mandates. A big majority of the 82nd Assembly District will have parking mandates. A little bit of the 80th will not, certain portions. I'm still waiting on city planning to find out if the area of the Metro North is going to still be considered special zoning district with parking mandates, because I fought very hard for that with the Metro North. So hopefully it'll still ranked number 2, so any single family, multifamily homes will have parking. But anyway, none of this is where it needs to be, and I'm really interested to see how the vote is gonna go on Thursday, with my colleagues and where they stand with it. I lost my first page, I forgot to staple it, so I kind of had to like write my notes down. Scooters. Yeah.
So question, just for clarification. So if the majority vote, I'm talking about the city of Wall on December 5th. So if the majority vote of the city council members vote no,
Yes. We have to vote again in the same, I think it's gonna be within the same session that we have to vote for the original as well. So it has to be like a double vote. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but it has to be, if you vote no to what the city planning has accepted with modifications, then it reverts back to its original form. And if it does not get voted on immediately, it will get passed through. Because it's a time, there's a clock, so there's a time limit on it. So they have to make a motion to vote on the original as well. Somebody's going to have to do that.
that's not, well, think about it. I just think about it. If the city council votes no, that they don't want this, that should be the final vote. Isn't that a fair?
I agree,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, that's just the way that the law is set up.
That is wrong.
Yeah.
That is so wrong. We need to do a rally. We need to do a protest or something, because that's basically saying that I'm giving you an option, but if the majority votes no.
But at first, I thought it was like a scare tactic to get some people to vote yes. Well, if you don't vote on these modifications, all these lovely things we're going to do for your low density community, then, it's going to go back to the original form, and we don't want that. And somebody's going to have to make a motion to vote on the original. So I don't
It's gonna
know
be a
what
long
we
night.
go mumbo jumbo, but I know pretty much the gist of what it was, because I just found this out. And I still have not gotten my full script from land use.
Well, everybody pray. Thanks.
Yes. Yeah, no, I agree. It's unfortunate, but this is, it's not been something that's ever happened before.
Right.
So this is kind of new waters that we're treading. Because when they put something to the floor, which I just found this out myself, they're putting it to a vote because they have the numbers. So if it doesn't make it to the city council floor, yeah.
You're right.
So e-scooters, continue to send the picture, sorry.
Would you be able to put that motion forward, or do you need somebody else to do that?
One of us can. We're gonna have a conversation, like I said, with Common Sense Caucus. We're gonna sit down before, we usually have a briefing before the meeting. I know David Carr kind of tried to do that in the committee for a vote, tried to vote against the proposal, but it just. It's something we will fight for.
What about Prop 1? Is there any way to revert? Hold on a second. Let's let Kristy finish speaking, and then if Kristy wants, if we have time, and Kristy wants to take some questions, we'll take some questions.
As far as scooters, continue to send pictures to our office, or if you know time and a location when somebody's going through a red light scooter, they are a disaster and a public safety issue. I want them out of our district. I'm doing every single thing I can do to get them out. I have set forth legislation to classify them. If they're over 20 miles an hour, over 50 pounds, they should be considered a motorized vehicle. And they need to be held accountable like, motorcycles. If you're going through the red light, if you're driving under a certain age, if you don't have a license, you should be ticketed. And I'm asking for the DOT to send us biannual reports on what's happening with the schools, because I'm over it. I need them out of my district. If they're not going to comply and they're not going to play nice, then there's no reason for you to be here making money off of my district. Now, as far as Prop 1 is concerned, I had voted it, on my own ballot against it. I tried to push, we did a rally in the city, on City Hall steps, all of the women having those water. That's in it. She wants to be a puppet. She's going to be in protected class at 8 years old, and she can become a puppet. The state's going to be able to step in and take away my parental rights. And I just feel like something like that, I'm not for it. I'm not agree with women and men's sports, but unfortunately, the majority of the state didn't think like we thought. And hopefully that's something we have to deal with. Hopefully, it's gonna create a lot of, court cases and things will be, yes,
Just to hi, I'm Eva Edison. And just in reference to Prop 1, because I also protest as well against it, in police. And I just want to say that we were all gaslit by the media and by whatever was presented. It was totally misdirected. It was about abortion rights. It was about LGBTQ
right,
rights.
it's just such a big
It was
thing.
so
There was a
freaking
gaslit. And what is it was open up to multiple.
It was fraud. It was fraud, and it needs to be challenged.
And I'm sure we'll. So next is another hot topic that I agree guys are just discussing. We just put in legislation to try to see if the city would allow us to do a voucher program for the children with targets. So New York City public schools, it's $37,000 per child per school year. Charter schools, $17,000 per child per school year. Private school, Catholic schools, $7,000 to $8,000 for tuition to pay per child. Why is it that it's triple the amount of money to send your child to a New York City public school and their numbers are horrible, but yet in these smaller school systems, they're thriving and their children are doing better. Maybe it is because it is a smaller scale, smaller one-on-one, but I feel like every person should have a choice as to where they send their child, how they choose to send their child to school, and that's something I'm gonna get behind. I don't know if they'll pick it up, or not, but let's just pray to God that they do, because we have a lot of Catholic schools that are closing and farming creeks. You know, I shouldn't be discriminating because I want to send my child to have a Catholic education, you know, because I believe a certain way or I believe in a certain.
Well, Frank, basically that, and I work, so I worked 10 years ago with school construction authority and the public school system. And at one time it was, it's a first for it was $3,500 to $5,000 per child, and it was $22,000 for special ed children, and none of that money was allocated to special ed. It was allocated just.
Yeah, but this also goes to the fact that we all know Lehman High School. When I went to Lehman High School, Mr. Leader was the principal. There was one assistant principal. There was a couple of hundred students. Now there's either four or five different principals in this school that are getting tax salaries, and then there's 4 or 5 assistant principals, and probably even more. So we know where the money's getting absorbed. Unfortunately, it's not going directly towards the education. And that's a major problem.
It's also with supplies.
Good. I don't want to cut you off. We're gonna have a Q&A after, please.
So as you guys know, happy belated Veterans Day. I am on the Veterans Committee in City Council. It's something that it's an honor to be on, and it's an honor to fight for.
Thank you.
Councilmember Holden is also part of the Common Sense Caucus as the chair of the committee. So I was able to get my first legislation passed last stated meeting, and it was to acknowledge Vietnam veterans here in the city of New York on March 29th. They are honored, they are recognized nationally, but they are not recognized here in the city. So going forward, this March 29th, Vietnam veterans.
All right.
We realize that self-identification for veterans is a major problem, and that's how they base their funding for the entire city agency, is on identifying veterans and how many there are in our city. And we came up with legislation that when you do fill out, and we haven't developed it yet, we just put it into I-1 and we're waiting to develop it with the city. So when you do a voter registration card, there's going to be a self-identifier box for a veteran check off, and they're going to send that to the Department of Veterans Services to keep track of how much veterans have in the city. But I do ask you to Board of Elections, and he's not happy that I'm voting on it. Something important that we need to do for our
Yes,
veterans.
yes,
You know, just like that. I just have like 2 more things to go over. Okay, Valleys.
Ooh.
What's this in their backyard? be, they said probably just late December, January, but they think their session starts up in January. And it has to go through the assembly, then to the Senate, and then down to us in city council. And what you do for parkland alienation, the entire property they're going to alienate is 18 acres. That's the equivalent to $100 million. And in order to alienate parkland, they have to either create new parkland or upgrade existing parkland of equal value to the $100 million. And I've asked for a list of what properties they're looking to upgrade or reinvest in, and I got the runaround. They got this list a long time ago, and I just received the list in the beginning of November. And after speaking to the Parks Department, well, we have to redo. Is there anything you would like on the list? And I just said, well, that's a right. If you're asking me, the city council member, is there anything? First of all, I don't want it.
Right.
Okay, it should go directly to our district in C10. But this new list that I got had a whole array of different locations. So it went from reinvestment in Ferry Point Park to the new promenade on Orchard Beach to the Soundview Pool to the Hunts Point project. And, you know, it's a lot of different projects, but, you know, I feel like if you're going to do something like that, you should at least first and foremost consider investing in the district that you're basically taking. And, you know, we'll see what happens when that comes to a vote. I'm going to start doing my little stops at all my civics in Bronx because I've told Valley's to reach out to the community. They're reaching out to Arthur Avenue. They're reaching out to Morris Park. I'm getting a letter from the principal of St. Clair's. I don't give a shit what the principal of St. Clair's has to say about this. This is not going to at all impact her district, her people, and her community. Oh, but there are jobs. Oh, jobs. Yeah, you want your kids to grow up to be a cocktail waitress because that's what they're offering for jobs.
That's right. That's right.
Say jobs, you know what jobs they offer to me? And listen, no disrespect, they're like, oh, you got dishwashing jobs for $80,000. I cursed at the guy. I said, is that what you have to think of my people? I said, I can't have any. And I was insulted by that because give us middle management jobs. But we know where the management jobs are coming from. Vegas or Chicago. Chicago, they're coming from there. What are we getting? Valet parking and cocktail waitresses. But you know, 3,500 of those jobs. And they're not even guaranteed to go to our. So they're asking me to help them to do outreach. I'm not a lobbyist. I'm not going to stand up and be a lobbyist for you. You have to outreach to the community.
Yeah.
And I need you to outreach to the people that are directly impacted. Rossman, Edgewood Park, Silver Beach. Because you know what? On a Friday summer afternoon, when one bridge is crowded, they cut down Lafayette Avenue and go to the Rossneck Bridge, and the people can't even get into Locust Point.
That's right. That's right.
I'm
That's
not
right.
listening up with that nonsense. And, you know, I'm here to see what happens, and I'm going to start making my rounds again, like I said, to the local communities just to get there. I started it already. All right, and that's pretty much, I think, everything I have on my.
Now, Kristy, you have some questions. Please orderly and respectfully. Okay, we're going to start with Grace.
Couple of things. Okay, well, with Valley, for example. Because, oh, God, go to somebody else, it'll come back to me.
Stephanie.
Kristy, thank you so much for all that you're doing to raise awareness about the casino issue. I had no idea. Assembly District 83. My question, in my district, we have an increased number of NICA houses and shelters that seem to get approved overnight. Residents are never told about. My city council member is Kevin Wiley. Never met him, never had a knock on the door from anybody, not even Mr. Hastings. So what is it we can, what I do on that end to start alerting people in the district about what's going on next door to us? and start revitalizing our community board to start pushing back to those elected officials that they always cover for. Thank you.
Well, if they're, thank you for your question. If they're as of right shelters and they're bought and they own the property and they're not getting like, they can build whatever they want, unfortunately. And that's what I feel like a lot of the city of Yes is going to do to the way like our say as to what's coming to our district. And, you know, like with the city of Yes, it would have been a lot easier if the speaker would have came up to us and said, hey, I need to build 2,000 apartments in your district over the next 10 years. I can think of a bunch of places that you could build in my district that's not going to impact the rest of the district and the low density portion. For example, with the Metro North rezoning, this is a condensed area away from the low density portions. There were 2 properties that they wanted to make skyscrapers on. I said they have to come off of this project, Sentinel Avenue, and have a 12-story building there. You have ranch style homes next door. I took them there. I said, you can't do this. East Chester Road, they wanted to put 21-story buildings. There's little semi-attached houses all along that it's gotta go. It cannot happen. So for us as council members, if we had more of a say of what's happening in our district, it would be a lot easier. And as far as NYCHAs, I have 2 NYCHAs in Long Beach, Lama, in City Council District. It would cost $1.9 billion in order to bring them up and them to where. I just say get involved with city council and the housing committees. That is going to be my year 2 type is for my NYCHAs because it's out of sight, out of mind. And these actually have meetings tomorrow or Wednesday ahead of NYCHA because I'm upset. These people should not have to live. You know, you don't really have to hear. If I gotta go at 7:30 at night and bring my kid to Bronx houses, but the door broke again the 3rd day in a row, and it's somebody in the building smashed the door open, I'm gonna call you, Brian, and I'm gonna keep calling you until you pick up the phone because you should know people have to live like these are people's lives. And I think more attention needs to be brought to that. And it's something that I'm gonna look forward to start fighting for, and I think that's something that you can be involved in it, and maybe with the city council, go for it, testify. We need to be nice to that.
Please talk about how local congestion price is gonna be. Thank you.
Who remembers going out in Manhattan in like the 2000s, late 90s? And it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like hailing a cab and you're like, hey, take me to the Bronx? And they would take you to what do you think's gonna happen? And this is broad daylight. Because if they gotta leave to come back, they're not gonna be paying congestion prices. It's gonna destroy Manhattan. And I mean, unfortunately, I have to pay it because I refuse to take the train. I don't think that we're in a place of public safety to be going up and down. I've taken the train a few times down to City Hall. It's not my preferred travel, and it still takes really a long time. At least if I could get in my car and go and but listen, it's gonna be a burden on people. We have a lot of people who use the medical system in Manhattan. Yes, I think Sloan Kettering's at 63rd and York. But they have a lot of their off-site facilities below this. So when you have to go for the MRI, you're not going to the hospital. You're going down some December Street. And if you have to go for your treatment, you have to go down there. These people are sick. They should not be on our train. They have a compromising immune system, and it's just not fair. It's not right, and they're on a budget. Now they got to pay $9, and she thinks that that's like a bargain. It's terrible.
Anything else?
Yeah, hi guys, thank you, Kristy, for having this on the floor for us. I'm piggybacking on with Stephanie, because when I was running for the 34th district, I was at Castle Hill. And the power that these people have, you know, they're at NYCHA, to put a casino, wherever you're gonna put there, they're not involved. How do we get them more involved in the property that where they live? Because that is such great. It's such a great neighborhood. And when I was campaigning, they don't even know that that community is worth anything. Because whenever there's water, I said, you can look outside and you can see water if they want it. This power that they have, Cass Bronx had, they're all based around water. So how can, I want to figure out what can we do to get them more involved and saying no to the
We're looking
casino.
at it. We're looking at the person to say no.
Okay, so
This is
I want to help whatever
This
we
is
can
it.
do.
Yep.
I want to get them. I talk to so many of the young men and women, and they got this.
They're a great community.
They're great. It's a
They
most
are.
beautiful
I do,
community.
I do every month across my houses,
Mhm.
and it makes me so happy because you see the people that come out to help. It's not just the women that are doing it, it's these younger guys who
Right.
are involved, and it's a great thing, and, you know, they help out when they can, and
Okay, so whatever we can know you need from us, we're willing to help to get the word out, just like we was campaigning. We'll stay by the grocery stores, we'll do anything we can, because like you said, it's such a beautiful community. And you want them to enjoy it. Then maybe night you will do something, maybe something will transpire, simply because we gotta get them to think it's more than just a project.
well, one thing I did see, and I think it was in Lower Manhattan, I don't know exactly where the site was, and I have to do more research on it. They basically are just demolishing a NYCHA site and rebuilding.
Funny over.
Is it Chelsea?
Yeah.
And I feel like, if we get that, I mean, it's gonna be cheaper to do that than it is to repair what we have.
Right, so anything I can do, we can do, we don't, because it's great property and it shouldn't go to a bunch of cocktail waitresses and bookies and prostitutes. And that's what it's coming
Well,
on.
the problem isn't even so much that, the problem is, you walk back into the casino, you're out on Sher's Avenue, walk right into the Crossing House.
Oh, okay.
So property is connected.
Okay, well, I'm there for you, and I'm so glad you had this. Thank you.
Now, we'll hold on a second, Grace.
Okay.
Grace, remember what you want to say.
Yes, you know, hold on, there's a contingency plan, if the city of Yes does pass, then I believe there's legislation and all of the being prepared to, so that, this, or it's a city, or, I'm not sure if it's a city or the name like the Bronx, we would become our own city. In other words, to pull away from that, we would, and I think that's doable, because all our taxes would be coming to us and not out there. So would you, that's something you would consider supporting, looking into?
I can look into it, I don't really know much about it, but it's something, if it's, the district is something that they really want to support it, I mean.
Because I always look for alternatives, they're gonna do what they want. You know,
I feel like if it does look, it's gonna be tied up in lawsuits for a very long time, and it won't happen probably in.
Yeah, but at some point, have some place. Okay.
I heard him mention something like that.
The e-scooter. What
We
are
can't
you-
hear you back here.
The e-scooters, what are you doing to go after the companies who are supposed to be maintaining and picking up their junk?
So, I've had a conversation with Lime, I've had a, Zoom conversation with Lime, and it didn't go so well. Control myself because I just met up with it. So I met with the mayor and Commissioner Yazanis, Rodriguez, and I basically said, there's no respect. It's a public safety hazard. There's a lot of issues. And the mayor said, well, what's the accountability? Are the companies doing what they need to do? He did say there are other cities in the world that have gotten rid of e-scooters out of their city, and basically saying that could be a possibility if they don't step up and do the right thing. So we've been taking, anytime I drive all over the place, I stop, I'm like, oh, why are you gonna go? I jump out, I take a picture of the scooter blocking the sidewalk, or I do it constantly all day long. We have people within the community send us emails, and we're keeping a record. So as we the record, we send the mayor, we send the DOT, we send the line, to the point where the line is actually responding to this. But I don't care, because it's too little, too late. I'm not like that, I don't really care. But we're trying to come up with legislation to basically triple them in the sense of they really need to step up and have their riders accountable, and if they don't do it, and
You see minors.
and they shouldn't, you have to have a driver's license in order to open an account. So when you see 25 of them outside of Lehman High School, why are they there?
Exactly.
Granted, when I was 17, if they were around, I'd probably be riding one of those myself, you know?
That's true. School choice.
Yes.
When I was a parent leader, many, many moons ago, there was supposedly legislation passed for funding. The funding is supposed to follow the child. I forget what it's called. But if the funding is supposed to follow the child, then whatever school they can pick, that's kind of like kind of school choice.
Yeah.
You know, and you got a lot of the Title I, got a lot of federal funding, title that the schools get extra. Would you look into something like that so that the money follows the child? So that wherever they decide to go, whether it's Catholic school, charter school, whatever, that money goes to the new school and does not stay with the old school. That's always the business model that they used before.
I can definitely.
And the cameras. I know a lot of people, a lot of people like cameras all over the place. I personally don't, because they don't do anything other than maybe they might actually get murdered, but that's about it. I can stop it. My idea, and I'd like to give it to you, is that in addition to having cameras, have a system, have it set up so that when the lights trigger, because there's never enough lighting either. So a lot of places have cameras with no lighting. The cameras like
that are like stationary.
right, like in bodegas or whatever. The police, whatever they have, the police have that big light. Well, first of all, we need lighting, because there's never enough lighting. Second of all, the cameras is not enough. Capturing something on video is not enough. I'm suggesting that cameras, in addition to the lighting, if there's a movement, would turn on the big spotlight and at the same time have a loud bang or noise to stop whatever's with the shooting.
And then I'm gonna get a rush billion.
Well, listen, what I'm saying, there gotta be something, something that's gonna stop people for a second. They're getting ready to shoot, bam, they're like, suddenly. So I'm just saying, as a deterrent, and I think it may save lives instead of being like, you know, having a, oh my goodness, that's so sad, type of thing, but you can try to prevent it. Thank you.
One more thing, I just wanna say, like I said from the beginning, do not buy the garbage cans just yet. Hold out. I know the timeline is, they cut it shorter, timeline is coming soon, still hold out, we're still working within city council, we do have a bill up that we're trying to get to. Good. Because it's on.
Yeah, so, when you talk about the buildings, we talk about the buildings in Manhattan that they were trying to demolish and put up with the buildings with balconies, because that's what they had an exhibition in the museum in Manhattan. The buildings they're trying to build a project, they're trying to build down and renovate so they can put some balconies out there. When they do, what would happen to residents out there?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, somebody had sent me the article. I didn't read the article. It's something I need to start researching and, you know, at this point, 1.9 billion to 2,000 complexes is a lot of money. I mean, I don't know how much it costs to build one.
Also, is there an ordinance so that when the new buildings go up, they actually have a garage in the basement? Because there's going to be a lot
Now
of.
you're talking my language. Parking.
Yeah, because there's a lot of. They're gonna go up. They're gonna build down. You might as well convert that into a garage so that the tenants can actually go in and alleviate some of the street pressure.
Safer.
Well, it all depends on what the city of Yes, how it goes through the parking zones and location. Nothing in Manhattan is gonna happen.
Yeah, because if you have, if it's in the building, each building has at least 1 or 2 parking lot spots down there for the residents up there. And the residents not using it, because he brings it out to whoever wants to use it. So that opens up more revenue. And also helps with congestion. Got more parking.
Yes, I mentioned earlier about not traveling the subway. I used to travel the subway
while ago, but not anymore, for a very simple reason, it's not safe. What is being done? Recently, we reading a paper about the Jordan Neely trial, a trial where the guy goes Jordan Neely, that trial. The guy was crazy, he lives in this, and the guy who tried to save everybody, it's fine, that's another matter, but what is being done in the city council to make sure that the subways are much safer? What are they putting cops on every car? What is being done?
Well, it's, obviously, with NYPD, it's hard to get police officers who want to join the job. I have taught and I've gotten officers back to our both precincts. We had a new graduating class, I think one got 6, one got 7. There's not that many people that want to join the force. I know there's going to be another graduating class in December. Also, the mayor is to increase the number of 16 more police officers to graduate. They want to increase the numbers. I did see a video of one of my co-council members who wanted the police off of the trains and the subways. And I said to one of the commissioners, I just basically said to them, well, whatever she doesn't want, we welcome them here in District 13. You can send them to our subways, we respect them, and we're more than happy to have them. So, I'm meeting with Chief Crowley tomorrow, the Bronx commander, and I'm going to talk to him about numbers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. I thank you very
All right,
much.
Kathleen, let's go to $1 question here.
I just want to make a comment to Greg. When it comes to the congestion pricing, once Trump gets rid of 450,000 illegal aliens from New York City, you won't need congestion pricing because there'll be a lot of room on the street and a lot of parking. And not only that, you won't need the city of yes, because there'll be so many empty apartments. The 450,000 supposedly in New York City, you will have a lot of empty apartments. So you don't have to approve the city of yes, they'll become available immediately after January 20th.
I just have
An
interesting question, because it's a little different than what everyone else has been speaking about. Thus far, we know that President Trump is looking to basically change enforce the immigration laws. New York State and New York City are, they're open border sanctuary cities and states, which he has stated that he is looking to end the funding, which would have a demonstrative impact on New York City. Has anyone had a conversation about how we are going to address that lower funding? Has anyone addressed the consideration of closing the border and dealing with the illegal immigration to assist President Trump in getting rid of some of the violent illegal aliens?
Well, we have put in bills, legislation to protect the city against the sweepers laws. There's no movement. And it's unfortunate because we are here self-holding the money. And the unfortunate thing, or fortunate thing is, and I feel with the new border czar, is anybody that breaks the law, this is the aggressive force, many of our officers, that they're gonna get. And I think that they will stick have a bill to be able to have the NYPD work with ICE, because that is something that Congress cannot do. But again, it's all about movement on the floor. Nothing's
So is there any discussion that you are aware of in elected government at any level that they have become aware of or considering the fact that we're going to be losing funding? And that funding, based on what's been stated so far.
I don't think we really get much federal funding. I think a lot of it's, I mean, we get some, but we are really taking a portion of it out of our budget.
Well, it's actually, we do get a bit of funding directly for the housing at some of the hotels. But in addition to that, housing and food for many of the illegal aliens, there's also the pipeline that comes through the state to the city. And since the state is also a sanctuary, as well as the city. That pipeline is going to be shut down if what has been proposed and has been stated actually comes to fruition. So that's why I'm very concerned about that. We're looking at, by my estimate, somewhere around $1 billion at the most, about $1 billion. Cut.
Yes. And that's gonna wind up coming out of our pocket. And the casinos, because they're gonna get a couple of $1 billion for the application, and $500 million just from that. And so you can probably get about 6 or 8 dollars.
No casino has worked anywhere in New York State.
Oh.
since-
There's a reason why you're driving 2 hours away from your home to go to gamble and enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
Go to Atlantic City and walk a block over the boardwalk. Sorry, 1 second.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Angela Aquino, and I'm filed my candidacy for public advocate because we all know that Jumaane Williams deserves an opponent that's an actual, so I am here to tell you that I'm here and with Dion. Where's Dion? And we're going to fight not only for the public advocate position, but to expand the Conservative Party and its values in all 5 boroughs. We are working on so many volunteers. As a matter of fact, I'm Filipino, so the Filipino community, Miss Universe Philippines, is going to send some people who can recruit to be able to sign petitions and expand and raise awareness on the Conservative Party. I'm here because we are just so fed up of what is being fed to us, like as if we have no choice. And that is not true because we have a choice. And we have to really raise awareness and make every single noise because the children deserve it. The future of New York deserve it. There's just so much unfairness that's happening in the schools with all these gender identification that our children are being fed to and no one's advocating for them. All the unfairness and all the radical stuff that's going on the streets and all the trauma that it's causing instead of healing. So I invite you to please help us and promote the position of the public advocate because I'm also here not just to promote myself but the Conservative Party as well. So I want to thank everybody and hope that I will get your support and I look forward to working with everyone.
Thank you.
I don't want to go. We need to stay focused. We're gonna have an opportunity for some new business, but I want to close out the questions with Kristy. Stephanie, you have one more question?
My question, really in line with what Michael was talking about, our sheriffs are supposed to be constitutional and answer only on behalf of people. In New York City, we don't vote for our sheriffs, they're appointed. Is there at all any way that in the coming years we can approach with some legislation to remove sheriffs from a position of appointed to a position of elected, so that they answer directly to people and only take an oath to the Constitution, so that we in the city of New York have the same freedoms as people across the country, being able to work directly with the Constitution.
I'm sure that's something that can be brought up. Start at city level, maybe start at the state level now. But I do know that the city council did put law anywhere. The council will have more to say on mayor's appointees. I think commissioners have to put, so it's something that will be considered. And sheriff.
That's actually, it's an interesting point, because most of New York State does elect their sheriffs. Okay, it's New York City, and I don't know when it changed. That might be something, pretty much everywhere else, sheriff isn't like, I think of, it's oddity that, in New York City. Who's been in power. Okay, any other questions for Kristy? Okay, with that, I guess we'll close out the Q&A.
One more year.
You're welcome.
One more year.
And I would like to at least give her, yes,
all night before she goes to bed, and I know she might be up a little bit later than wanting to, but I do thank you, everyone.
Thank
for the
you.
time, and I
Hi, everybody.
More minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the next order of business is any old business that we have outstanding. Yeah, I don't think there's any old business really that we have to go over right now. And new business. Part of the new business, as I mentioned earlier, during this campaign season, there's Jim Livieri. He is a longtime member of the Conservative Party. And, let's give this a moment to break up. All right, so I want to recognize Jimmy. We had some discussion, and we have decided that this last election season, that Jim Livieri was the Conservative Party MVP of the 2024 election season. Come on up here, Jimmy. You gotta come on. Speech. Thank you. Turn around. Speech. A little trophy, a little trinket, MVP. Speech. Because I was going to present you with this proclamation.
Ellie? Is Ellie around? Ellie?
No, that's not Ellie.
So on behalf of the Bronx County Conservative Party, proclamation, Jim Livieri, whereas it is the prerogative of this party to recognize individuals and organizations with civic contributions enrich the fabric of the Bronx County, and whereas it is the community leaders like yourself to whom we owe a profound debt of gratitude. Individuals who dedicate themselves tirelessly to the betterment of our community, and whereas in alignment with the ethos and in accordance with time-honored tradition, it is with great pride that this party bestows honor upon you today. And whereas our long-standing commitment to the Bronx, your long-standing commitment to the Bronx has been unwavering, with your tireless efforts consistently aiming at enhancing our borough, and whereas your exemplary service and dedication to our community, both in and the forefront and behind the scenes, merit is long overdue recognition. And whereas you epitomize the finest qualities of the Bronx, serving as a shining example for us all, and whereas it is the sentiment of this party that the achievements and milestones of individuals should be publicly acknowledged and celebrated, serving as inspiration for others to follow suit. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Patrick Jimenez, Chairman of the Bronx County Conservative Party, does hereby recognize you as an individual deserving of our utmost respect and admiration. And be it further proclaimed that a copy of this proclamation be presented to you on November 25th, 2024. Signed, Patrick Jimenez, Chairman of the Bronx County Conservative Party, and Gonzalo Duran, Vice Chairman of the party.
Sorry.
And Ellie just got here. Ellie, if you don't mind. You know,
Go ahead.
Fight. All right, Jimmy.
Business?
Any other new business, Grace?
I don't remember something. I just new business.
Yes, question.
Well, since, I can't remember her name at the moment, mentioning the public advocate, since, we have this moment here, and Patrick mentioned that there's not that many people running for office. I'd like to say informally that I'll be running for mayor for the Conservative Party line. Come, December 14th, I have representatives from the Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Brooklyn, and basically all 5 boroughs joining me on December 14th on Saturday to represent and try to bring up the changes that we need in the community. You guys have seen the work that I've done. You know who I am, and I hope I can count on your votes this upcoming when we try to go forward. Thank you. Everybody's invited. Thank you. So on December 14th, the address is next to one of our offices. I apologize. And if anybody wants to get in contact with me after this, I'm happy to talk. This December 14th, we'll have the press. We have, once again, representatives from all 5 boroughs that are working towards getting into this. It's going to be at 806 Jennings Street in the Bronx. There'll be parking. We'll be starting at 3 p.m. So I thank you once again for giving me this opportunity, and I hope I can count on it.
That being said, I just want to point out, Gonzalo's running for mayor is separate from his being chairman of the Bronx County Conservative Party.
Hi, Chairman.
Just, fairness and disclosure. We have another gentleman here, Joe Alai, who will also be seeking an endorsement to run for mayor.
I consider about running for mayor as a face on our partnership at each other. I try to minimize or reduce or delay or let the competition down. How? That's very simple to define it. Municipal government, New York City government, management too much. Really manage too much. We need like a city council district bigger. The management district affairs themselves, like affordable housing, each district has their policies. Like rent, each district has their policies. Education, the school in your district, you manage it yourself. No need an education department.
That's right. That's right.
So every district, if this district, a lot of Republicans live there, or you are interested in as a Republican, you move there. If this district, you want a portion or whatever you want to do, you move to that district. So that's a separate, temporarily or relatively separate. So Republican will be living in Republican area. Democrat will live in Democratic area. So your policy is different, but the management yourself. The municipal government, New York City government only charge for safety, police, traffic, like subway, public bus, and sanitation. That's the cleaning the street, right? And other necessary things, not everything. And the municipal government, what they also were going to do, will have a subject evaluation group and the object evaluation group to monitor, or how to say, we kind of call it manage, not call it manage, like just a monitor, like what we call subject evaluation system. Like this consists of each council district have a representative consists of this group, 51 council district, right? You kind of vote for your district, other district is your freedom. You vote. you vote, then the subject system will be public number 20s. 20 districts will be ranked, and public weekly, even monthly or yearly. That give the guidance for the voters or residents to vote to say if your council member will be good or not. In this way, every council district the management of their affairs as a relatively independent unit by yourself. So this way, I don't think there will be too much contradiction. Now the political system, like a Republican want to public a bill that ruling to the whole New York City, and the Democrat want to pass a bill want ruling all the New York City. That never works. That's called the contradiction, called fighting, and not fair for everybody. So in this way, Republican and Democratic, they can find their way to manage themselves. In this way, how can I get this idea? Because I'm a consultant, I'm a political consultant in international affairs. Like Belgium, Holland, Sweden, even like Denmark. These are smaller countries in European countries. Why the management is so good? But the others like Britain, United States have so many problems. It's not about the big. It's not about the big, but the management, the way of management. The management way changed everywhere or be like get along with in harmony. They don't need to fight each other, right? We still have a quality life to enjoy what we designed for the future. And in the principles, we also changed the fundamental about the law system, political system, and the government system. For example, police system is a bigger issue in our community. Republican side, more police. Democrat side, defund police, right? So what really happened is not about more police, it's not about defund police, but police do quality job. How police do quality job? I have a plan, but just for you to reference, not the final decision. Like this is just affecting to the slight crime. Like when police call down, two parties have conviction. Police need to arrest, according to now laws, police probably need to arrest one party, right? But the new system probably should do like that. Police will immediately have a monitor connected with the judge. Immediately have a connected with the judge with monitor. Police first say what happened, what the situation, what happened. Then use two parties cast the desk to say who see first, then to the judge. Then judge immediately. Oh, sorry. Immediately give a judgment. And also have a three warning record in your New York City ID or your driver's license. Three warning. First warning, they won't arrest you, but you have got one warning. Second warning, third warning, fourth warning, it definitely need to arrest you. So in this way, your prison similar like enlarged for 3 times, right? Where has so many criminals? No, prison will be empty. Thank you.
We have sandwiches. Okay. We have sandwiches, soft drinks. I just asked, we're gonna ask somebody to volunteer. We have gloves over there. Start grabbing sandwiches. I'm sorry.
Next meeting day?
We actually have not set the next date yet.
That's.
We will get it out publicly. Again, thanks for being here. Rich, we have there. And
He has the club too.
hold on a second.
We're not done yet.
One second.
You need a bell. I got a big bell. So, hello, we're meeting is adjourned. Just a quick closing prayer. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for having us all come together today. Thank you for, getting Trump in the White House.
Yeah.
And thank you for, having people here that are involved in their communities and are looking to do more and better things. We ask that you give us all the strength that we need to enter into the political realm. As much as people don't like it, we need people to step up if we're gonna change things and follow your ways. We can either follow the ways of man or we follow your ways, and your ways are always good. And we ask this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.